Our focus in this episode is on the Queen's undying love for Africa and her visit to African countries. I am Oyizo Adi and you're watching Nigeria Today. Britain and Nigeria have had mutual diplomatic relations for many years, and both countries regard each other as a close ally, and the UK continues to play a high priority on it in many areas of mutual interest, including security, trade, the transition to a future powered by renewable energy, and climate change, according to Katrina Nyang, the British High Commissioner to Nigeria. Nyang stated this while reflecting on the life of Queen Elizabeth II at the press briefing in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. She said the Queen was passionate about Africa and the Commonwealth generally, but personally had a special place in her heart for Nigeria. The strength of the relationship between UK and Nigeria is one of the absent foundation was because of the Queen in her role as being the head of state for a while, and her role as a head of the Commonwealth are not passed to her son. The Queen has a great love for Africa and a love of Commonwealth. She spent 20 days in Nigeria, visiting all over the country for the first time in 1953 and in 2003 for the Commonwealth Head of Government gathering. The Queen, the King, and the entire family have seen the role Nigeria plays as significant. Queen Elizabeth II visited more than 20 African countries during her reign, which saw the British Empire come to an end and independence sweep the continent. A special link to British endured through the Commonwealth of the nation, which the Queen led. It was a close and sometimes complicated relationship between the British monarchy and the post-colonial Africa. Princess Elizabeth broadcasted at the Garden of Government House in Cape Town, South Africa on her 21st birthday, dedicating her life to the service of the Commonwealth. Princess Elizabeth visited Kenya with her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, in 1952, was in Kenya when she heard the news that her father, King George IV, had passed away and she was to become queen. The first of the two visits Queen Elizabeth made to Nigeria was in 1956 when it was still a British colony. She also visited Calabar, Enugu, Jos, Kaduna, Kano, and Port Harcourt. Queen Elizabeth II danced with Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president and a figurehead of the decolonization movement during her visit in 1961, just 4 years after Ghana's independence. They danced to a high life tune composed specially for the occasion called Welcome Your Majesty. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip visited Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia in Addis Ababa. During a state visit in 1965, the emperor took refuge in the United Kingdom between 1936 and 1941 following the Italian occupation of his homeland, and was restored to the throne in 1941 after British and Commonwealth troops defeated the Italians. Queen Elizabeth visited Sudan in 1965. Her visit to Sudan included an afternoon of camel rest and a trip to the construction site of the Rosary Dam on the Blue Nile, which was completed the following year. The Queen visited Tanzania at the start of a 3-day state visit in 1979. Zimbabwe President Robert Mugabe was awarded an honorary knighthood by the Queen in 1994. But as tension grew between Zimbabwe and the UK government over the president's land reform program and allegation of human rights abuses, Zimbabwe withdrew from the Commonwealth in 2003. Mr. Mugabe was stripped of his knighthood in 2008. Queen Elizabeth made an official 6-day visit to South Africa, which saw the best rain season in 10 years, winning her the nickname Mutalipula, which means come with rain. The Queen and South Africa's first black president, Nelson Mandela, was said to have a close friendship. The Queen signed notice to President Mandela with "Your sincere friend, Elizabeth R." and referred to him as Nelson, while it is said he called her simply Elizabeth in a break after royal protocol. The Queen and President Olusegun Obasanjo was seen at the official opening of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Abuja. On her last trip to the continent in 2007, British longest resigning monarch was met by one of Africa's longest surviving presidents, Yoweri Museveni, who has been in power since 1986. As Africans reflect on the legacy of Queen Elizabeth, Kenyans remembered how a princess visiting the country in 1952 left as a queen. Analysts note how Elizabeth helped stir the end of British Empire and exploitative colonial rule, but while relations were repaired and improved under the monarch, colonialism left lasting wound. The Queen's ascension to the throne came as African colonies clamored for independence, and she had to supervise the elimination of the British colonial empire. Analysts say Queen Elizabeth's biggest legacy is the creation of the Commonwealth. And with the death of the Queen, the future of the legacy now lies with King Charles III. Thanks for staying with us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nigeria Today. I am Oliza and stay connected.